is in the building.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here on The Decent Show. I'm Ryan Money, joined by co-host, co-creator, the guy doing all the work, Reagan Horton. And we are here with Equalizer 2 movie review. And I feel like we have a lot to talk about.
I know you do. You have a lot to say.
I have a lot to say because guess what? I actually took notes this time. I don't know if it's going to help my delivery or my timing or
neither.
Yeah, probably, hopefully neither. Or my opinion. Anyway, I'm probably still going to be scatterbrained as I normally am, but I at least have notes so I can make references to them. What do you want to start off with? Do you want to start off with your overall rating of the movie? You want to dive into...
No, we'll save the rating for the end. The rating is the best part.
Rating is the best part, okay.
Initial thoughts. What do you like? What were your initial thoughts?
Initial thoughts, so...
Better than the first.
See, I guess that's another thing we could have talked about, but I didn't have to really take notes on that because I asked you to rewatch the first one. You refused.
Yes.
And
once was enough.
I was not impressed the first time I saw it, and I think my parents were watching it one night, and they were like, "Oh yeah, this is a pretty good movie," and I was like, "Is it?" You know, because I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it, but
they know
I guess
what they're talking about.
I don't know what it is. I just like knowing everything because they're going to make references to the first movie, and I don't even really know if they did because it's been long enough since I've seen it to where I don't know what I've missed. I don't know what details are in the first movie that it might have helped me understand a few things in the second movie. Obviously, this is one of those movies to where you don't have to see the first one. You can go in and see it, and you can basically understand what's going on. But from what I remember, I would like to say this is easily better than the first one, just because the first one, to me, had its, had its problems just because of the whole... I didn't like some of the characters and the fact that, he is helping random people, and he does that in this second movie. But to me, there's more magnitude and meaning in this movie to who he's helping. The first movie, he just seems bound and determined to help basically a very young prostitute. And
yeah.
So, I don't know. The second one, to me, just did a better job of using his character for what he does. Because essentially he really does just kind of help random people by killing bad people in their life, basically. But yeah, I would like to say this is better than the second one. I'm probably gonna, since you're probably not going to want to watch it, I'm going to try to go back and watch the first one at some point. But again, I'd like to think that this one's better. But to me, it does suffer some of the same problems the first one did, in that it's got some really good highs, but it's got a few too many slow parts and a lot of Denzel reading.
Yeah, it really tries to be it tries to build so much up in it in terms of literally every character it tries to build moments with. It tries to build moments with Denzel and that character. It tries to tell you who they are. Let's just get into our notes, all right?
Okay.
I'm gonna go right off the top. I liked it, but I was really bothered by a few things in this movie.
Well, please do share.
Yeah, first and foremost, the transition. I'm gonna call them transitions.
Okay.
Basically, anytime we went from one scene to another, it just felt like it took so long for anything to happen. Even the pivotal scene where she's getting into our very pivotal scene where she's getting into the elevator.
She, as in Susan?
Yeah, they show in the lobby, and she's making some phone call, and then she gets in the elevator, and it's like they have to excuse themselves past the people, and then they get out of the elevator, and then we have to see 3 different versions of a shot where it seems like someone's approaching her, and it's just it's stuff like that. It's stuff where we gotta show, okay, here's what city we're in now. Here's him getting out of a car. All right, we're gonna have a slow conversation now. It's stuff like that where I'm just you could have cut. You literally could have cut 20 minutes out of this movie if you wanted to, because it's such slow.
Gosh, Ryan, is that how you feel?
Yeah, dude, it's just so slow, and it doesn't benefit the movie at all. I even like the example of what it did right in terms of this transition, whatever you want to call it, build up.
Okay.
Was the beginning of the movie. I actually enjoyed that. Okay, so he's not the very beginning, but where he's back, helping people in the lift and whatnot. I thought that was cool. He'd have a couple different people in there, and he'd hear their stories or whatnot, and he'd try to help them. Then he'd try to help other people Like that one girl, he went up there and kicked the crap out of those frat dudes. That was pretty good. I liked that scene.
Great scene.
Yeah. I don't know. That was just a really good scene. I guess it's really nice to see like a douchebag get his ass kicked for like beating a woman or doing whatever he was doing to her.
Yeah.
So that was super awesome. But there was just a lot of times I just didn't understand why we needed to linger so long. Like in the very, very beginning of the movie, we're in the train scene, and it has a shot of the train, then it has another shot of the train. Then it's the outside of the train. It shows Denzel on the train. Then Denzel reading on the train. Then he's looking at this girl on the train. That's a necessary part. Then he walks to the back, and they have this small conversation. The bartender won't give him a drink right off the bat for some reason. We couldn't really understand why.
When he just wants water.
He just wants hot water, which is a strange thing to want on a...
Soothes the throat.
Yeah, I guess. But whatever. That's got to be free, or pretty damn close to it. Why couldn't you serve him anyway? So... maybe it was a private part of the train, I guess, because it was just those guys back there. So we had to see that, and then we got through all this stuff, and then he kicks all those guys' ass. It's with that pretty cool line where he's like, there's two types of pain, pain that hurts, pain you learn from. You got a choice to make or whatever. Pretty cool. But then it goes back to the train again, and then it hits the title screen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just a straight up waste of time. Mm-hmm. And that's like, oh wow, what a nitpick, but.
No, it's not.
It's like that all movie long, though.
No,
it's not like just that one thing. It makes the movie just seem so much longer.
I forget what it's. I guess like a convenient way to call it, or like the proper name. But yeah, it's basically a lot of camera porn, a lot of shots, a lot of shots that we don't need.
We had shots of the city and like it transitioning from 8 o'clock to midnight.
Yeah, we had like city and bridge and car driving down the bridge, and it's like I don't care. I don't But see, that's what I'm talking about, and I'm. Whenever I mentioned this in the car, you didn't really say anything, so I'm assuming you were saving it for the podcast. But yeah, that's what I mean. The first movie had that problem, and the second movie didn't seem to fix that. I mean, they waste a lot of time, and they make the movie really slow. And neither movie is that long, but they don't even need to be that long. They don't need to be 2 hours. They could be an hour 45 because you could cut out.
A lot nicer. Like, you don't get bang for your buck on that either. Like I feel like. Just because your movie is longer, it doesn't make it better. Like, your movie being shorter is actually better, because then it's like, or it can be better, because then it's just bam, 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 we're out of there. Like, it feels way faster. Whereas this movie felt really slow.
Yeah, it was really slow.
Like, it felt so far away from me in terms of just time where that girl, his friend had died. That felt eons ago, to be honest.
It did. No, it did. I can't believe we feel the exact same way about that. Because I was... the same way. It took forever, and I was like, because in the middle of the movie I was like, man, because stuff was moving along, like Susan had that's when I looked at my phone right when Susan had died. I looked at my phone and I was like, man, how much time do we have left in this movie? And I was like, we have a whole nother hour. It's only been an hour and we have a whole nother one. I couldn't even imagine.
It just makes no sense why they chose to do that. Like, it doesn't even make sense to me. I'd like let it go because I like watching Denzel Washington. If it had to do with him more, I would buy it. But there's some weird stuff in this movie that just doesn't add up. In terms of that one book he went and bought, why was that scene in even the movie? That book had nothing to do with anything.
Oh yeah, dude, that had nothing to do with it. And
nothing at all. And the old man, that had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, I didn't like the old man.
We didn't even grasp that, like, he helped him. We have to assume that.
Help who?
The old man. What I got from the movie is he's got the gist of, here's a painting of my sister or girlfriend or something rather, and it means a lot to me. I really want to have it or whatever. I need to get it, but I can't have it because it's worth a lot of money because it's really old or something like that. And that's a fine plot point. But Denzel never said he was like, man, sometimes you gotta just let it go or whatever. And then it was just like at the end of the movie, they find the actual person who it's a painting of.
Yeah.
And then like they're really happy, and that's great. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's
Denzel did
decent
that.
writing, whatever. But did he do it, or
well,
did
technically,
that just happen? That could have just happened.
No, Susan did it. He like gave it to Susan whenever Susan was leaving in the cab or whatever. He like handed her that little envelope and was like, "Hey, can you do that for me?"
See, they never explained that. At the end, it was just sort of like
because that stupid phone call in the lobby that was taking forever. She's like, "Hey, like I got this for you. Like I think you'll be excited or whatever." Mm-hmm. And she like wraps up the phone call and goes like, "What's up?" I forget the bad guy's name, but she's like, "What's up, guy?" And he goes, "Oh, we got to do whatever, and then they like get on the elevator.
Yeah.
So like that's when it was like it got resolved basically right before she died, and I guess
why was that in the movie? Like
I don't know.
That
I
made no sense.
don't need it.
Like, him helping out people, I get, but like if you're gonna have that in the movie, it should take less time. We should be honest. It should take less time. We shouldn't have a scene in the car, then another scene in the car, then he's on a bench sitting with him. Yeah. Then we're talking to him at the end of the movie. Then we're in the car. Like, it's just, come on,
it was way too much. And then back to the bookstore, because I forgot about it. Like, I didn't understand him, like, telling the little girl to shush. And, like, you know, what are they shushing about?
Oh, dude, don't tell your mom I saved you.
Yeah, basically. But, like, he saved them with what? He gave them money?
No, dude, like, he brought her back to the States.
Oh, that was the same. Yeah. Oh, see, they look different. Like, I know it's...
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
They did look different, but I noticed because of the mom. That's what I noticed. I noticed the mom. Well,
that's why the whole bookstore scene was in there. Then I totally didn't get it, because I thought the bookstore scene was pointless, but technically it wasn't. He reads a lot of books, so he's going back there to buy books from the people he always buys books from, and I guess her daughter got kidnapped.
Yeah. So
he was, you know...
Like, that's why we're not moving anymore.
Yeah.
We were going to move or what.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes way more sense now. I totally did not get that. I was like, what is the point of all of that?
All right, you want to get... These are some great notes. Let's get right into these notes. What do you want to talk about? There's so much stuff.
Okay, so this is kind of just like nitpicking stuff, but I thought his beard in the first scene was very excessive, very fake, very pubic looking. But that's kind of stupid. And then... I wrote, like, some of these notes I wrote early on in the movie, and we did get some explanation to them later. Like, Susan's company, I was like, what is Susan's job? Who does she work for?
Yeah.
Like, the only thing I ever heard throughout the movie was Interpol. But, like, they kept saying, like, Interpol was going to help out or something. So I'm assuming she's not Interpol. But any other time I've ever heard Interpol in a movie, it's normally related to the CIA.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming she's CIA? Like, they're ex-CIA, like him and his buddies, Denzel's buddies, were a CIA hit squad.
Something like that.
Because that seems to be another thing that's in a lot of movies, like in Shooter and, like, I guess maybe A-Team.
It's in James Bond, too. They
James
talk about
Bond.
Interpol.
Yeah, there you go. So I guess they just, CIA's dirty in every movie, and they have a hit team. CIA's in the Bourne movies. And then Lyft. I mean, Jesus Christ, the Lyft sponsorship. I mean, really, this dude's doing Lyft and not Uber. Like, I mean, he's probably doing, and most people do both. So I thought that was just kind of, I don't know, they kind of put it in your face. You know what I mean? And it's
they did, but they did, and it was like, this is stupid. Yeah. But they kind of redeemed it for me when he's like, leave a 5-star rating.
Exactly.
And he's like talking about the girl.
I completely agree, because at first I was like, dude, we don't need all this Lyft crap. And then, like, when he helps the girl who gets, I believe, raped, and he, like, beats the crap out of all those guys. Like, great scene. That was the other thing. I made a note of, like, 3 or 4 scenes, and those 3 or 4 scenes literally made the whole movie.
Yes.
Because the rest of it was pretty much slow build-up and exposition and dialogue and crap we didn't need.
While we're on Susan, like, that's another just build-up scene. Is like, we had to watch her have a FaceTime or whatever. We had to watch her have a board meeting with 2 other people.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had to watch her tell her husband to wear a tie or whatever. And then we had to go to the wake, too, and we had to save him. That's another thing, dude. He took that guy, the president from Independence Day, and he saved him, right? And then he put him in that hotel or whatever.
And then that was it.
And I'm like...
And did he take his car? Is that the car he was using? Because he burned his Lyft car. He burned his Malibu or whatever.
See, I have no idea.
Because it looked like a different car.
It was a BMW.
I know it was a BMW that they drove off.
The first one was a Malibu.
Well, I know he burned his Malibu, and then he, like, drove. I think his name. We just call him Bill. I think his name's Bill. So he drives Susan's. Bless you, goodness. Unless we're gonna have to edit that out.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. So he drives, Susan's husband Bill out of there, and it looks like they're driving like a nice ass car, like nicer than a BMW. Mm-hmm. And then later we just see Denzel driving around in the BMW. Mm-hmm. But I guess it's the same car, because where else would he get another car unless he's got a stash? But yeah, okay. So back to Lyft though. They threw Lyft in your face, but they did redeem it with the rape scene, and then the old man. Again, we already kind of talked about it. Don't understand why he's there. Don't need him. And literally, I couldn't understand most of what he said. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like I didn't need to. And then I didn't really understand his relationship with Susan at first, but I'm assuming that's because they worked at the CIA together back when he was part of the hit squad. So I guess my question was answered there. Denzel's wife. I guess I knew that he was married, but I feel like she was hardly ever mentioned in the first movie. And in the second movie, she was mentioned pretty much throughout the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of annoying. So that's also I want to go back and rewatch the first one, see what the heck's up with Denzel's wife. And then where was home? Like the whole time I was like, where's home? And they finally went there, and I still didn't know where it was. Like, I don't know. And then there's cuts in the fight scenes. This is all my notes. They're very scattered.
Yeah.
I'm just writing it throughout the movie. So cuts throughout the fights, but they really weren't horrible because you did get to see the nitty gritty. You got to see the stabbings and the.
See, there was one that was terrible though,
Which
because
one?
they really wasted it. It was he killed the second guy after he harpooned the first guy.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that part of the movie. But
why?
I'll tell you in a minute.
What, the storm?
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, I thought the storm was terrible too.
Anyway, it was like he's going up on this guy and he's stabbing him, and I think he has two knives in his hands. But for whatever reason, they cut it so many different times in so many different ways. It's so incredibly choppy. Like they have a I'm gonna call it first person on the guy that's getting stabbed, and then a third person perspective of them both. Like you're looking dead at him, and it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with each stab. So it's incredibly hard to tell what's happening, and it's probably really sick because it looks like he cut him up like 7 or 8 times. I'm like,
this
sounded
would be like
awesome to see because we're in a very rated R movie, although. It didn't really feel that rated R until the very end, when you see that one guy and his guts are everywhere.
I mean, it was rated R because of the violence, because it definitely really wasn't because of the cussing. Also, the drugs. I mean, it was the project scene. When they show drugs like that, it automatically is rated R. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, there was drugs in the lift scene, too. They had Coke and Xanax and all that good stuff. Like, when you show hardcore drugs like that, it's automatically rated R. But, yeah, like, it was one of those things that sounded like Denzel cut the crap out of him because, we did get to see it. It was all cut. Yeah. So I was like doing this. I was like, what is going on? Like, what is happening right now? Besides, all I hear is...
Yeah, exactly.
That's all you hear. Okay, and then... I know he does it in the first movie, and maybe it's better explained, but I really don't get the whole point of him timing himself. Mm-hmm. And, like, he really didn't do it...
that much.
He did it in the beginning of the movie. He didn't really do it from the middle to the end.
Yeah, he only did it twice.
Yeah, and I guess it's just paying homage to the first movie because, again, I don't understand the purpose of him timing himself. Just to see how old he's getting, I don't know.
It's part of his training in the first one.
Yeah.
It's just something, it is just sort of like, have I still got it or whatever.
My next note is, we get it, he reads. There's a lot of reading, a lot of books. His lift riders, most of them were pointless, as in they were just psychotic, and I don't know how many people are really that open in lift. Yeah, I mean, they act as if there's a private glass between them, like, and they just say and do whatever they want. Like, I do Uber and Lyft, and that's never been like that. Either you intimately talk to the person that you're giving a ride to, or you don't talk at all. Mm-hmm. And, like, the stuff that they were doing didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And also, that dude that said he was going to his first tour in Iraq... I mean, I don't know anything about the Army and what we're doing in foreign countries, but are we really still sending people to Iraq? Like, I don't know.
It's probably rare, but it's probably
happening. Yeah, it's got to, because I mean, I feel like the movie wouldn't put it in there if it wasn't, because if they did, to me, that's a huge mess up.
They couldn't. Yeah, I don't know. You never know. That could have been filmed up to 2 years ago.
Yeah, it could have been. But even then, were we sending people to Iraq 2 years ago?
I don't. Again,
I thought Iraq was done in Bush's term. You know what I mean? Mm. Or maybe during Obama's term it got done, and we're past Obama's second term, and we're pretty in depth of Trump's term. You know what I mean? It's been years.
It was a weird choice to say that instead of something else.
Yeah. And so the other thing I had a problem with is there was random expositions, random words of wisdom, and then that black guy. That No, the black guy that was taking care of the old man, like the chunkier black guy at the very end of the movie. He was talking to him. Yeah, that black guy. Whenever they're at the park bench scene and like the old man is trying to explain to Denzel the importance of the sister or the painting or whatever that is, and Denzel's like, blah blah blah, and the black guy goes, yeah. He keeps going down to the courthouse and they just keep telling him that he's stupid and it's just something for him to focus on, really fill that hole.
Because he has no one left. He literally says
exactly.
No one.
And it's one of those things to where he's saying this random exposition and crap to Denzel, and it just happens to perfectly relate to Denzel.
Yeah.
Him and the old man have something in common. They're doing something to fill the hole in their life. So I don't know. I kind of, to me, that's more cheesy than it is enjoyable. I guess it's like, do we really need that? And yeah, a lot of random words of wisdom, but I mean, they weren't bad. Like, I don't know, but sometimes they were very random, especially in the beginning of the movie. Like, there was some random knowledge dropped, and I wish I would have wrote down specifically what it was. But I was like, well, oh, he said, be nice to somebody that you share a toothbrush with or whatever.
Yeah, dude, what was that
Yeah,
about?
exactly. That's what I'm saying. What is that?
I was like, oh, dude, he's going to use a toothbrush to kill the last guy. Like, of
Exactly. And then I put sagging and painting with gold chains because, I mean, geez, dude, Miles or whatever. I mean, the excessive sagging. Like, I'm not enough around. I'm not around enough gang members to know. But I mean, like, the amount of sagging, is that really still happening? Because all these rappers are wearing skinny jeans nowadays. Like, I don't know, it was an absurd amount of sagging. And then he's doing all that painting. He's painting the outside of the wall. And he's covered in paint, but he's still got 3 gold chains on.
Yeah.
Really? Are you really going to wear 3 gold chains when you're dealing with paint? Like, I don't know. To me, that I would take them off.
Gotta look good.
Yeah, gotta look good while you're painting. Like, I don't know. I would take them off. To me, that was stupid. And then, to me, because honestly, that last scene kind of drug on. It was like the very last scene.
You want to talk about the last scene right now?
No.
We can definitely go into it.
No, we will in a second.
Okay.
Let
me know.
The last scene kind of drug on, and I didn't think it was that great for a finale. My 3 favorite scenes in the movie were the lift rape scene where, like, the girl gets raped and he, like, goes back to the people.
Just tears them apart.
And just, like, the way he did it. So calm, cool, and collected. He was like, hey, man, like, credit card didn't work.
I'm going to need all your devices to record whatever you
what's
did
her What's her name? You know, blah, blah.
Every time he didn't know the name, he's like, your dad's not going to save you from this one, all right? You understand? What hand are you?
Yeah. We'll break the other.
Yeah.
Hand me the left hand.
Call 911.
And then, like, demands that they give him a 5-star rating. He gets in the car and it's like, ding, 5-star rating. And I was like, that was a great scene. And then the project scene, like the whole project scene, I thought was great. Like, he busts in there, beats everybody up.
Very little cuts, like very brutal action. That was good stuff.
Sucker punching people in the mouth and throwing them in the elevator, and he's got all these guns.
I'm your daddy. You just never met me, or something.
No, he's like, who the hell are you, old man? I'm your daddy. Your mama just didn't tell you.
It's like, what?
Like, dude,
that doesn't make any sense.
It does,
but it's so like, because it's coming from Denzel. You're like, oh yeah, dude.
It's classic Denzel, and so because it reminds me a lot of his attitude in Training Day. You know, just a total badass. And he, like, you know, holds him up at gunpoint, tells Miles to get out of there, and then he, like, I mean, he drops some knowledge on Miles, and he, like, I mean, he's just a badass, like, holding himself up at gunpoint, making Miles, come on, man, you a killer, kill me then, like, just everything he said, I was like, dude, this guy is the coolest motherfucker, like, in movies, like, I don't know, he's just too cool, so that whole scene was great. And then the lift ride, where he's, like, beating the guy up while driving the car. He's, like, wrecking but swerving and, like, brutally kills the guy.
Takes the guy out with a knife, or takes his knife out of his hands. Then he brutally shoots him, like, 4 times in the head.
Those 3 scenes were my favorite scenes.
And it was good. That was, like, the perfect example in that movie of, like, here's how you build tension, and you don't make it take all damn day.
Yeah, because him driving that guy, it didn't really take that long. Like,
no, he was like, "Oh, you're not right." He's like, "Oh, we've been driving in the wrong way for 3 minutes now."
Yeah.
And then it's just like it's on, and it's like that was an awesome way. Like we all saw when you knew he wasn't really going to his daughter's birthday. Like it was great. It was great.
All right, and then my last, because I mean, oh yeah, so we'll get to the finale, but my last couple of notes are like this is kind of just again a random, I guess, sin, if you will. Denzel high-fiving those kids. That was so lame.
Yeah,
like, he's literally the coolest guy in the whole movie, and then he, like, gives the lamest high five to these little kids.
It took too long.
And he's, like, held
his
it.
hand coming up and them hitting it. It's like I mean, that is honestly how, like, kids would react in real life. But, like, they're actor kids. They need to be able to, like, hit his hand quicker. Otherwise, he'll look like an idiot.
Like, we've had him looking like a cool badass this whole movie. We can't afford him to have his hand up for 5 minutes waiting for your stupid high five. And that's the other thing, too. They're not babies. They're, like, 8. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. High fives are lame. So I thought that kind of, like, took away some of his cool points. So, like, I thought that was really stupid. And then, his disappearance, you know what I mean? His disappearance from the CIA, like, hit squad or whatever they were. Like, why did he disappear? Like, why was it such a big... I know the bad guy tries to explain it, but I don't understand why it's such a big deal to him that Denzel, like, got out the game. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Honestly, I didn't grasp that either. I think it was really just he was sort of jealous of him because he got, like, he struck a deal, it seems like. It seems like Denzel got some money or something out of it, whereas it seems like the other guys, you're done. Like, it's over.
Yeah.
That's what I grasped from it. But yeah, it was not super explained well. I wish it was better explained, honestly.
Yeah, like, his disappearance and then his beef with his old team didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, aside from the fact that Denzel and Susan were trying to get to the bottom of the murders, and they were the ones committing the murders. Like, that's the only, I guess, connection that I can make. But, I mean, I don't know. Like, whenever they're at the table or whatever, he, like, makes a big deal about him, leaving. Leaving the team. Like, why is it such a big deal? Like, y'all got old. It was over.
Yeah,
he left.
like
I don't understand. All right, that's technically that's all of my notes except for the finale. But
okay.
So we're going to talk about the finale. You get it started.
To me, like, the good stuff in this movie and the bad stuff in this movie can almost be drawn down a line in terms of the first hour and 15 minutes and the last 45 minutes. To me, maybe half the movie or so. But to me, the movie, I didn't like it when the plot developed, I guess. And you know what I'm talking about. The army buddy is a bad guy again. We just saw this in Skyscraper.
Yeah.
This exact same thing. Almost verbatim. Like, this exact same situation. And their motivations are almost the exact same. And I know, like, you don't know what other people are making. You don't know that it's going to be this, that, or the other. But, dude, could we come up with a reason for a guy to be evil or be the bad guy or something, other than he was an army dude and he needs money now or whatever? You know, it's so annoying. And this guy, he was in Kingsman too.
Which one?
The second one.
Yeah, I know.
He's with the whip, and he does the exact same
Narcos.
thing in that movie.
What?
He is he's the buddy,
the friendly bad guy,
the friendly buddy guy that's like the second to our main protagonist.
Yep.
And he turns evil at the end for some money, or I guess his motivations are he hates people that are on drugs or something, and he hates that they killed his girlfriend or whatnot. But it's like, dude, this guy's already played this role, and we just saw this role. Can we get another way? Can we figure something else out? It just bugs me, dude. I was like, oh, they're not going to do it because they played it. That like scene was good, where they played it to where, oh, they're about to make a hit on this guy. Oh, and his wife hasn't talked in a while. She's probably dead. When Denzel came to the house to visit that family. And you're like, oh no, like that. Those people in that car got him. And it's like, oh no, it was Denzel. We're good. And then the reveal of the cell phone, pretty good.
Yeah, it was a good reveal.
But then, why?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, can you just kill him right now so I don't have to deal with this for the rest of the movie? It's like, please, just take that phone and break it on the table, take a piece of glass and start stabbing him with it. Like, just something, dude.
Yeah. I completely get what you're saying, because it is one of those things to where, it's because I looked at you and said it. I was like, dude, if he's the bad guy, like, F me. And, like, this is exactly why. Because, I mean, you basically discovered the reason why I hated it, and I couldn't put words to it. But, yeah, that's basically why I hate it, because we see it in every movie.
Yes.
And
so we all know it's coming.
Yeah, and because I felt like it was coming, but I didn't want it to, because it didn't seem like it was going to be that way.
For the longest time.
And that's why the reveal was so good, because it didn't seem like it was going to be that way. And it ended up being that way.
Maybe I'd be less harsh on it if we had just seen Skyscraper or whatever, or like we had seen Skyscraper second or something.
But it's not. But you, like you said, it's not the first movie to do this. I mean, literally, the same actor did it in Kingsman 2.
Exactly.
So, it is a little problematic, and to me, the motivation is so weak.
Yeah,
like it's like, oh man,
you can't find a job anywhere, dude. You worked for the government.
Yeah,
and you were a badass, and you had you got medals.
Yeah,
put that on a resume, dude. They'll hire you anywhere.
Yeah,
like, what are you talking about? You can't get a job anywhere.
And
how did Susan get out? Susan can't hook you up with a job. How about instead of killing her, you get her to work for you?
Well, that's the thing. He has a job. They're working side by side. He was working side by side with her. They're in an office.
Yeah,
he's at a board meeting. And I guess on the side, he's part of a 5-man hit squad.
What I grasped from that was he he was in that, and I guess he's sort of transitioning out of that because now he has an actual job. But like, I don't know. It was kind of a cool thing that they did a hit on a dude, and he turned out to be a part of Interpol, and we were all going to know that one day, and so they had to clean all traces of that evidence. Mm-hmm. That was kind of cool, but that also felt like it was sort of unnecessary because we almost immediately forgot about it. I mean, we forgot about it, and we started focusing on Susan's death. And that was a pretty brutal fight, too. I liked how she had a chance at one point. I liked how
dude, I thought she had it.
Well,
she technically survived.
Yeah, she did. She had survived the attack. Well,
she did. She was alive, and he had to finish her off.
True. But what did those guys do then? Oh, they just robbed her. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
I guess they just left, and so then the hit team bombed them with the phone bomb. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember his name in the movie, and his name in Narcos, I think, is Pena, so I'm just going to call him Pena.
That'll do.
Yeah. So, and Pena, stabs her in the ribs or whatever. Yeah. So, I guess that didn't really make much sense because, the actor's name is Pedro Pascal's.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they, beat the crap out of her just to steal nothing, basically.
They're bums. They want money, I guess.
And they didn't even take her wedding ring.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing, too, though, but, I'm pretty sure they were hired by the hit squad to do that.
Yeah, they probably got paid just to beat her up, honestly.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess. I don't know.
But see, that's just...
But it's one of those things, why are they getting paid to just beat her up? Because she ended up dying, so I'm assuming they paid them to kill her. Mm-hmm. And since they didn't do it, he killed her. Pena or Pedro, whatever.
Maybe they just suck and they just didn't do it good enough, and then he had to go there and clean it up. And they're just going to kill him anyway, and then just to tie off loose ends.
And then they phone bombed the drug addicts that.
So I didn't care for that twist. I didn't care for that I didn't care for that portion of the plot. I cared for the part of the movie where he was just literally helping people. I probably could have watched the whole movie on that, to be honest with you. Yeah. I could have watched some guy gets into his car and it actually happens to take 30 minutes of the movie instead of a 5-minute scene or a 10-minute scene. He helps the frat guys out, he sees Miles or whatever, he takes care of that gun or with the gang problem or whatever.
Yeah. And
then he just has another problem and he solves it, and then something else. But I didn't care for, okay, we're gonna take out all your old buddies and all that. And and let's get to the final scene. I didn't care for the way that I didn't care for the way that was done, to be honest with you. To me, this movie seems but judging from the first one, close quarters, we're in a building, he's going to be taking out 10 or 15 dudes, not outside in this rain, in this weather, can't really see anything or do anything, and he's, taking out 4 or 5 dudes. That to me was kind of... Because as soon as I saw that, I was like, he's going to kill 5 dudes? That's going to be hard to make interesting. I mean, that sounds messed up, but 5 dudes isn't much to kill in terms of an action movie. It's that can be done almost in a second. Especially because he did that at the very... He technically took out 5 dudes at the frat party.
Yes, but these are 5 dudes that are supposed to be on his skill level. Yeah.
And he did some cool stuff. He did the mirror thing, and, he got him with a harpoon gun, which was sick, and then he got him with the flower, and,
See,
whatever that was.
That's what I had a problem with.
Why did that explode?
Why did that explode?
It must have been something other
how
than
convenient
flour.
is that? Bags of flour or whatever it is on the counter with fans. Yeah, with fans. What are those fans doing there? Did he set up those fans? Or is there fans already there? If there is, why are those random oscillating fans already there? You know what I mean? And they're already plugged in, ready to go. And the power out? Because of the storm?
I guess.
How do those fans work? I've never had an oscillating fan that didn't...
obsessed with these fans?
Because, I wrote in my notes, finale, staying dry and convenient distractions.
Oh, yeah, the guy on top of the thing stayed completely dry the entire time.
Yeah, and so did Denzel.
Yeah.
It's some kind of storm that the whole town has evacuated, and the wind is blowing, there's ocean water everywhere. I'm assuming it's raining. It looks like it's supposed to be raining. And yet they are completely dry.
Yeah.
And again, whatever that powder was, and those fans didn't make any sense. And to me, it was way too convenient, but it did lead to a nice death, I guess, because that dude
threw a super brutal death.
Yeah, he threw that flashbang and it exploded, and his guts are all over the place. That's cool, I guess. But And I feel like they tried to...
Even the main dude had a super brutal death, too.
Oh, yeah, that was a great one. And did he, like, gouge his eye out with his thumb?
Yeah, he started to, and, like, he like, jolted back, and that led him to stab him a couple more times, and then throw him over the edge, like, onto a rock, and then get washed away into the ocean.
But I feel like... Because I remember in the first one, the last scene in the first one is he's in, like, the Home Depot warehouse, and he, like, turns off all the lights, and it's close quarter combat killing X amount of dudes in a certain way. And I guess they're like, oh, you know what, take it in a larger scale is if we do it outside in a storm. Like, I feel like they're trying to replicate that scene and make it better, but to me that scene was worse if you compare the two scenes.
Yeah.
And it didn't really do anything.
It was the worst action scene in the movie. That was another thing, is that scene took way too long.
Yeah, it did take a while. And Pena had the shot on him. Literally, like, when he's got the high ground, and he's got him in the scope. He literally had him dead on in the scope and pressed fire and missed.
Bro, it's the wind. It's the wind from all the fans.
Yeah, he did turn on all the fans.
He knew what he was doing. He was like, I'm turning on these fans, and that bullet won't hit me. Smart. That's smart. Classic Denzel.
Genius. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things, like, to me it was a pretty good movie. And Denzel was total badass, dropping knowledge, kicking ass, like, what you want. But some of the flaws were a lot of stuff took too long.
Yeah. I mean, they don't know. I feel like they didn't know how to go like for tension without taking forever. Because that like fight was supposed to be like really, ooh, where's Denzel? Are they gonna find him, or is this Because he went into a house and he looked around that entire house, and I bet like 3 minutes. It took him 3 minutes to look around the entire house, and he was checking every corner, and then he finally found Denzel.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's fine or whatever. And then it's constant. That fight must have taken like 15 minutes or so. And I don't know. It just seemed to me like they had to stretch the time for whatever reason.
To me, the best tension they had is when Miles is hiding in Denzel's house when they come in.
Oh, yeah. I hated that.
Yeah.
And in a good way. I was like, good Lord, dude. This is so like...
tense.
Yeah.
And then they end up getting him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But...
which was stupid.
Yeah.
Why did he get out immediately? Dude,
yeah.
I mean, I understand, like... If I got out, I'd probably be running. Like, if I'm gonna get out of there, I'm running back to my place or something. I'm not gonna just casually walk through the place.
That's the other thing. Like, I know they didn't technically leave, but they just left.
Yeah.
So would you really be running? I feel like that gives away that you were just where you were, and then you're gonna bump into them. Like, bro, I'd just stay in there.
Until daytime.
Until I got hungry.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, until I was
What's
ready.
the hurry? You got nowhere to go? They got class at night? Not even going.
Night class, Kevin Hart. Or night school, excuse me.
Oh, man, that movie was great, isn't it?
Yeah. So, while we're on this episode, too, there was a trailer I wanted to talk about. Because I was like, dude, we got to talk about this on the podcast. Now I don't remember what the trailer was.
Are you talking about that gun? One with the gun? Are you talking about the spy
Venom.
who dumped me? Oh, Venom. Oh, dude, Venom looks fucking amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you think of that? I know that I feel like we've pretty much covered all of Equalizer 2.
Let's get our final
Equalizer 2. Okay, so the only thing I will say is I didn't hate the movie, but again, of all the Denzel movies, I just don't get why they made a sequel to this one.
Mm.
But at the same time, maybe, I guess the other ones ended in a way to where you couldn't do a sequel, because like Training Day, he dies. Yeah, he dies, so it'd be funny if they made a second one. It's his twin brother or something. And then, I mean, American Gangster is based on a true story. And then I'm trying to think of like some of it. Like, there's a couple other movies that I guess they just end.
Book of Eli, he dies.
Yeah, he doesn't die.
In the Book of Eli, dude?
Mm-mm.
He dies in the Book of Eli.
He's reciting the Bible.
And then he's in the ground.
He's in the ground.
He's like reciting the Bible, and he's like, dear Lord, I'm so thankful for you, like, helping me on this journey. He's like, I'm so very tired. I think I'm going to rest now. And then Mila Kunis is looking at a gravestone with a flower on it, and she has his backpack with the headphones and the sword and everything.
I guess I don't remember that. I thought it ended with him reading the Bible.
No, it ends with her leaving the safe zone or whatever, and it's like, where are you going? It's like, back for my mother. And like, that's how it ends.
So they could have made a second one with her.
I would have watched it.
Yeah, but they didn't.
I kind of like that movie. Anyway.
I do too. But yeah, I guess all of his movies definitively end, and this one was just like the one that doesn't, I guess. I don't know. But still, it's one of those things to where we could have lived without this movie, but it really did have some great moments. It just, did take way too long. I mean, I can't believe you actually said they could cut out 20 minutes of this movie. They could.
I've never seen it so apparent before. I mean, just because I felt like there was nothing gained by it.
Now you know how I feel all the time.
I don't quite relate to you in that regard.
You start seeing enough movies, you can find stuff to cut out.
See, but the thing is, like, yeah, I guess, but some movies are bad and they're not, or they're average or whatever you want to call them, and they're not stretching the time. You know what I mean? Like Skyscraper, I don't feel like they could have cut a ton out of that movie and it'd been better. You know, I feel like the problem with the movie was, I'm just giving you an example. I feel like the problem with the movie was it was just poorly written or whatever. Yeah. This movie, I feel like I had a pretty good script. It was just too long.
Yeah.
Made no sense.
Exactly. All right, so is that everything? Are we on the rating scale now?
Yeah, let's go ahead and give it a rating.
All right. Okay, well, first off, what was the most decent part of the movie? What was your favorite part of the movie? I said my favorite scenes. What was your favorite part?
We're gonna have the same. I mean, we're gonna have the same one. If I mean, the frat boy takedown was the sickest. Like, to me, was the sickest part. I'm trying to think. I liked when he went outside and he was like, first of all, I'm gonna kill all of you.
yeah, that's the other part I wanted to make.
He had a couple of times where, to me, honestly, the favorite part of the movie was every now and then something kind of funny would happen, and I thought it was like hilarious, just because the movie is so serious that anything just a little bit comedic like really hits you, because especially it was all from Denzel, so it was hilarious.
Oh, that outside scene where he's like telling his buddies like, I'm gonna kill all of you guys, and the shame is.
Then takes the daughter, like as a shield, and he's like, "All right, I gotta go."
And he's like, "The shame is I'm only gonna get to do it once," and I'm just
that is pretty dope. Yeah, good. I forgot about that part. Yeah. I don't know. I'd go with the Denzel sort of quirks like that was the best part of the movie to me. That's the most decent part of the movie.
Most decent.
I'm going to take this opportunity to say that I should have given Skyscraper a low-key Garbo. It was a low-key Garbo movie. I don't know why I gave it a
retraction.
Yes, I was wrong about that.
All right, so if Skyscraper is low-key Garbo, where does that put Equalizer? Does that put it on decent?
I mean, it's either decent or low-key Garbo, honestly. Just because dude,
a critic.
There are parts of the movie I really love, but to me, you got to stick the landing. The landing is the most important part of a movie to me, because it's the last thing I think about when I'm leaving. And the ending just was not good. The cuttiness, the crappiness of the location, the plot, I didn't care for that.
Yeah, I didn't.
But I really enjoyed the beginning part of the movie, which is why it's unfortunate. I enjoyed that. If you had shown me the first hour and 15 in that movie, I would have been like, "This is going to be." This is going to be almost a Fuego movie, honestly.
Yeah. I did forget to nitpick on the fact that, again, I talked about how they're dry through that whole storm, and the whole town's evacuated, but him and Miles are going to sit there and look at the window when I'm assuming it's some kind of hurricane. And maybe it's a tropical storm.
Yeah.
But either way, I don't think anybody's ever evacuated a whole town for a tropical storm, so it's got to be a hurricane. Yeah. It's got to be something. And they're just going to sit there in front of a window and just hang out? Made no sense to me. And, I just thought that was stupid. I don't know, kind of unrealistic, but whatever.
I'm going to give it a decent.
Yeah, I guess I'll give it decent as well, because I would give it mad decent, but they'd have to cut out 20 minutes to give it mad decent.
It takes its toll on you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about that Venom trailer.
Okay, Venom trailer.
All right, yeah, nice.
We're done. I don't know. It looks amazing. I don't know what's up with Tom Hardy. I feel like he has a different voice in every movie. Yeah.
He seems squeamish in this trailer.
Yes.
He's very... he was a nerd at one point, and now he's trying not to be. It's very weird.
It's very weird.
But I will say, it's going to sound weird, but the thing that has me most excited about the movie is you hear the voice of Venom, and it's so sick. And he does the voice of Venom, too, which is dope.
He's doing the voice of Venom? Maybe that's why he does his reporter so squeamish, so you can't tell they're the same. I don't know. But it's one of those things, too, because it's being made by Sony.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what's got me sketched out.
Because you're Sony hadn't given us a good movie in,
exactly.
6 years?
Yes.
Since The Amazing Spider-Man 1?
Yeah, probably. Because, the second one had potential, but it didn't really capitalize. And it's one of those... And some of that, to me, could have been bad casting, because I hated Harry Osborn in the Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans. And that's not the only thing I disliked, but I mean, to me, that was a huge like red flag for me. I don't know, like a main character can just like if they're wrongly cast, it can just ruin it. Not it's one of those things to say that James Franco is way better at being Harry Osborn than whoever that other guy was.
Yeah.
Like I just never thought I would say that because
I think his name is Dane DeFon or something.
Yeah. How do you know that?
Bro, because I know stuff.
Okay. Dane DeFon. You naming actors I've never heard of. But anyway, I was just like, can Sony handle the pressure of such a character that I just love and admire, like such a really cool character that they didn't do anything with in Spider-Man 3, which was made by Sony, granted years ago. Mm-hmm. So things have changed, technology's better, but still, can they handle the pressure of making that movie? Because the trailer looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. And well, to me, that's just another thing where like I feel like Fox, they do the X-Men movies. They come out with like the greatest stuff ever, and then they come out with the worst stuff ever. It's just so 50-50, and I feel like Sony's kind of like that too, where they have some of the greatest movies, but then they have just some of the worst movies.
Okay, well, what's like the Fox examples of great and bad then?
Great, Days of Future Past, Logan, Deadpool.
Okay.
Bad would be X-Men 3.
Okay.
X-Men Origins Wolverine. Kind of Apocalypse.
I liked Origins.
Whoa, dude. I need to go back and watch it. It's pretty... But, dude, I don't like it, but I like it better than the Wolverine. Because to me, the Wolverine is kind of boring, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the one where it's like Chinese or whatever?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of boring.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. I fell asleep through that one.
Dane DeHaan, my bad.
Yeah, nice. You were close. First Class was actually pretty good, too. I didn't think I'd like First Class. Yeah, First Class was good. But, yeah. I don't know. To me, it's a lot of pressure, but...
To me, I'm going to be honest with you, the movie's going to be make or break on one thing, and it's stupid, so buckle up. If it relates to Tom Holland or the current Spider-Man in some way, I'm going to be all in. But if it's not, I'm not going to like it, to be honest with you.
What do you mean by that?
Because on IMDb, they have Tom Holland listed on the cast, and he's one of the main people in the cast, which I know he's not going to be in the movie that much. But it's going to really bother me that we're going to have Tom Hardy, a great actor, pretty sure he's won an Academy Award, like a great actor, going to be Venom. And he's going to be, let's say he's in a great Venom movie. And we're going to have Tom Holland, who's doing a great job as Spider-Man, in a great Spider-Man movie. And we're not going to have them ever fight each other or meet each other or anything like that at all.
Yeah, okay.
Like, it's going to bother me that we're going to have Venom in his own world, and then we're going to have Spider-Man over here in his own world. And we're never going to have a crossover, because Sony's never going to put another Spider-Man in Venom, and Marvel's never going to be allowed to put another Venom in Spider-Man.
Exactly.
So they're going to have to... The only way they cross over is if Sony's like, all right, we're taking Spider-Man back, and we're not going to have him with Marvel anymore, so you're never going to see him in a Marvel movie again.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't really want to see that, but I want to see him with Venom, and I don't really want to...
But you just said he's in the movie.
He's listed on the IMDb cast, but I'm worried that he's not in it, because I'm just...
Like Batman and Suicide Squad, basically?
No, like Flash and Suicide Squad.
I don't even know he was in the movie.
When they're talking about, like, Captain Boomerang, and they're looking at his file or whatever, and he's like, yeah, he robbed all these banks, and all the banks in Australia, and he shows a flashback, and he's at the bank, and he's like, you and me, mate, against the world, and he, like, hits a guy with a boomerang, kills him. And then the Flash shows up and hits him in the face, and he's like, "No honor among thieves," and like that. What I just described to you, almost the exact length of the scene. So like 10 seconds.
Okay.
That. But like, I'll be down for that, because at least then I'll be like, all right, they're in the same world. I don't want them to not be in the same world. Well, is what I'm saying.
They probably will be, but if they aren't, that's the bigwigs' fault. That's the studio's fault, because they've separated it, like because of the whole Sony owning this and Marvel owning that. And
but to me, I'm like, if I were Sony, I'd be like, yeah, bro, like, come see our movies, because you might see some Marvel characters in this besides Spider-Man. Like, you never know. But I want people to say that or whatever.
But I feel like I don't know enough about it, but I feel like they make it a big legal issue. Do you have the rights to it? Exactly, we're going to sue you, or, whatever. Or you can't have him. I don't know.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that would bother me. You know what I mean?
Because they're going to do it, because why would they want to give Sony money? Why would Marvel want to make Sony a bunch of money?
I don't know.
Exactly.
But why would... I don't know. Like, I'm not talking about like in the Marvel versus Sony. I'm talking about we're gonna have probably a great Venom, and then we're gonna have a great Spider-Man, and they're never gonna meet each other. It's kind of like we had a great Batman, and we have an up and coming, maybe a great Joker one day, and they're never going to meet each other because Ben Affleck's not going to be in another Batman movie.
He's not? I mean?
No, he's probably not.
Why?
Because he doesn't want to be Batman anymore.
He barely did it.
Dude, don't even get me started on that.
What are they doing? None of that makes any sense.
I agree.
And then, what is it? I know, we really need to end this episode because we're not even talking about Equalizer anymore, but I gotta know, what is going on with the Joker? Is it Jared Leto or not?
Dude, you ready for some stupid stuff?
Should we talk about this off air, or are we just going to talk about it right now?
I was talking about it right now.
Okay, let's do it, yeah.
It's Jared Leto is a Joker, and he's the Joker of the
solo movie?
Universe. No, of the universe. Like the DC universe. Then they're having a solo movie with...
Leo?
No, with freaking... you threw me off. Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix is going to be the Joker.
When did that happen?
No, it's.
They kept saying it was Leo.
Bro, they're shooting it's a Martin Scorsese produced movie with Joaquin Phoenix being the Joker, and it has nothing to do with the other universe in it. Probably won't even have Batman in it, and it'll probably just be like mainly a gangster flick, like origin story. It's going to be an origin story of the Joker for sure, but it'll probably just be a gang. And like, yeah, dude, does that make your mouth water?
Yeah.
But then listen to this stupidness. Let's say he kills it, and everyone's like, let's have 1 billion of these movies, and it's like, well, we can't because we put him over here and with his toys, and we can't really put him over here with the current Batman or whoever. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna build they're gonna have a movie that's just gonna sort of stand by itself. And that sounds good, but what if it's really good and then we can't really go anywhere with it because he can't fight Batman or be in the Suicide Squad or anything like that because we already have a Joker over there,
In Jared Leto.
Like Jared Leto is still... Dude, there's so much stupid stuff. They've announced a Harley Quinn movie, a Joker movie, a Suicide Squad 2 movie, a Harley and Joker movie, a Birds of Prey movie with Harley Quinn,
How much? They got Harley Quinn doing a lot because I read on...
Dude, they announced all these movies. They're never going to come out with anyone.
Okay, because I read the other day that they're going to do like a Harley Quinn like villain female movie, like where Harley Quinn...
Birds of Prey.
Yeah, that's what... Oh, yeah, you did say that. Okay, I guess that's a weird name, so I forgot that's what it is. Yeah. Dude, and I love Margot Robbie or whatever, but like... And she's great as Harley Quinn, but like... I
don't want to see that for a whole movie, to be honest with you. I think I'm going to get tired of that.
I think I would. I think I would too. And if they're going to make like 5 of them, like 5 different ones,
they won't. They're all in production.
And they'll probably half of them will get canceled.
They were supposed to have a Flash movie 2 years ago, so that just tells you like where this crap is. Like, they're moving forward with Shazam and Aquaman. It really upsets me because it's like you're moving forward with a Shazam and Aquaman movie,
but you can't
and a Wonder Woman 2, but we can't get a Superman 2. We can't get a Batman 1. We can't get a Joker and Batman. We can't get
Joker together. We can't figure out how many movies Harley Quinn's going to do.
But
what are they doing?
I don't know. I mean, that Joker movie's like for sure going to happen though because they're like, I think it's going to hit the end of 2019, and so they're starting production on it. So,
but that sounds like a Dark Knight trilogy thing. That sounds like its own project that has nothing to do with DC Studios. The Scorsese Joaquin Phoenix thing.
This might not be totally correct, but I know Joaquin Phoenix was talking to Marvel, and he didn't want to do a deal with Marvel because Marvel's like, you got to do we're going to sign a 4-film contract to where if you play someone, we could have you show up in any of these other movies,
And he didn't want to do that?
He didn't want to do that. So what I'm thinking is DC was like, all right, how about a 1 or a 2 film deal? So I'm like, to me, and especially if you're getting a guy like Scorsese to come in and do a Joker movie, I feel like he's going to be like, all right, that was great, that was fun, but I'm moving on to something else. Because when you're that quality of a director or whatever, you kind of just want to do something and then move on to something completely different,
Okay, and then what would Joaquin Phoenix do for Marvel? Like, what would he have played for them?
It was never said. It was just they were like talking or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. And then
I think he was supposed to be Doctor Strange for a minute. I think he was
rumored for that.
Yeah, rumored or whatever for that.
My mind is like in a bottle. I don't understand what's going on here. And then DC. Okay, so is like DC paying Scorsese to make this movie? So it's under DC Studios.
Mm-hmm.
But Scorsese probably has all the power to it.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be like, hey.
Yeah, they're going to be like, just do whatever you want. I can't imagine he was like, yeah, I'm going to do this movie, but you can tell me whatever to do.
Is Scorsese still doing like a gangster flick with Leo for Netflix or something like that?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's, I think it's almost done. That's why they're starting on this Joker one. Because
And
that
that's
one's
for-
coming out in November of 19, I think.
I thought
Or
you...
no, it's coming out in July of 19.
So they're going to come out the same year?
Probably, yeah.
And is one of them a Netflix only?
I don't think it's a Netflix only. The Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
think it's a Netflix only one.
All right. Okay. I guess that answers all my questions. That's insane stuff there.
All right, well, let's close the show out.
All right, just to recap, we both pretty much settled on Equalizer 2 being a decent, and then we went off on a tangent about Venom and DC Studios and Marvel and Joaquin Phoenix.
Weird stuff, so.
But yeah, Equalizer 2, pretty good movie. It's worth a watch, but there are some flaws. Most of it is the fact that they took way too long to do stuff that didn't matter. They could have cut out stuff that didn't matter. But Denzel was a badass, as always. Great dialogue, great action. It's a decent,
Yeah.
and it's kind of nice having a decent here on the Decent Show. We appreciate you listening. For Reagan Horton, I'm Ryan Money. Y'all have a good night.